This section is going to be kind of difficult. Whoops. So make sure, I don't know. So, example 1. Consider the function f of x equals nx squared, all divided by x minus n, where n is not 0. N is a constant. It's not something that you're going to be taking the derivative of. It's just like a coefficient or just a number. Determine in terms of n the non-zero value of x for which f prime of x equals 0. So what does x equal? Here in this, all we're doing is taking the derivative and then setting it equal to 0. That's what that means. So we'll take the derivative. Oh, in terms of n, all that means is your answer is going to have n in it. That's all that means. So first, I see that we're going to have to use the quotient rule, and then we're also going to have to use the power rule. Okay. Quotient rule says low d high minus high d low all over low squared, or low d high. Okay. And maybe you should try it. Maybe you should try to take the derivative. Yeah, this is my pause warning. You should pause it and try it on your own. Okay, I'm going to do it now. So we have low, and then the derivative of the top function. Well, n is just a constant, so I'll bring the exponent down. It'll be 2 times n, and then I'll subtract 1 from that exponent, so it'll be x to the 1. And then I have, so low d high minus high d low, the derivative of the bottom, is just 1, because we have the derivative of x is 1, and the derivative of a number is nothing, so times 1. All over low squared. Now here we go. We're setting it equal to 0, so I'll do that because of that. And now I'll simplify. Maybe I'll distribute that also, and then I'll simplify the top. So there I go. My like terms are the x squareds. Remember, n is just a number. So what do I have? I have 2n x squared minus n x squared. That's just 1n x squared. So there we go. And I simplify the top. Now I'll multiply both sides by x minus n, quantity squared, to get rid of the denominator. And since this side is 0, the denominator doesn't even matter. So that goes away, and we just have the top. The only way for a fraction to be equal to 0 is if the numerator is equal to 0. So that's what we have here. Yeah. Now I'm solving for x. How the heck do I solve for x? Well, this is just a quadratic problem, and I'm going to factor out an x squared. No, sorry, an x. So 0 equals, maybe I'll factor out an n as well. Nx times, what is that? So, like, what's that? This would be, what, just x minus 2n, right? There we go. Cool. Right? If I were to distribute this back in, nx times x would be nx squared. Nx times negative 2n is, yeah, the n squared. Yep. All right. Remember, this is the 0, well, let me write something. Since we have 0 on this side, and we have multiplication, we wrote it as multiplication, it's two things, this thing and this thing, being multiplied together, it equals 0. The only way for that to happen is if this is 0 or this is 0. So I set each piece equal to 0. That's how you solve this. That's how you solve like quadratics. It's called the zero product property. So that means x would be 0. X minus 2n equals 0. Add 2n. Or x equals 2n. Or x equals 0. What does the instructions say? Determine, in terms of n, the non-zero value of x. So it's saying we're not going to consider that one, just because of the instructions. And that's what x equals, 2n. Easy. Hopefully that wasn't too bad. Some of the instructions on these ones are kind of weird. So until you see that, then you won't know what to do. But this is all like not new stuff. That's pretty sweet. Let's move on to example 2. Consider the function f of x equals 2x cubed plus the 12x squared plus the 6x. Success! Oh, okay. There are two x coordinates at which f prime equals f double prime. What is the sum of the two coordinates? So it's asking you to find the first derivative, also find the second derivative, set them equal to each other. You'll get an equation. You'll solve for x. You find out the x values. And then when you get those x values, you add them together. That's what it's saying. So let's do that. I think I'm going to put some music on and I'm not going to talk. I'm just going to do it. If that explanation was too fast, you should rewind it and listen to that again. Because that'll help and that'll tell you what I'm doing and why. You'll need to see me do this. What? I'll write out at each step. So that's the derivative of the first one. And then I'll take the second derivative, you just take the derivative of this again. So that's nice. Set them equal. Solve for x. Whoops. There's that. This is just a quadratic, so I'm going to get everything over to one side, factor it, and set each piece equal to 0. To make it easier on myself, I'm going to factor out, I think I could factor out a 6. And then I'll divide both sides by 6. And it just goes away. That's nice. Because the other side's still 0. Now the song's all chopped up. Oh well. Factor this. And, yeah. And then you set each piece equal to 0. What is this? I don't like this song. I'm going to change it. So, zero product property says we can set each piece equal to 0 and solve. That's equal to 0. And that's just x equals -3, x equals 1. Now, these are not our answers. It's saying, what is the sum of these two x coordinates? So the sum is just, what, -2? There we go. That's it. I'm going to end this video. Do another example in another video, okay?